You're just waiting on Joe to come on.
What, our attorney?
Yes.
I think his partner's going to be joining us. I don't think Joe.
Jerry's on.
It's Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Joe, you on?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Joe is going to come on for a minute, I believe, but I'll be on.
It's all right. You can handle it. Cynthia, you around?
I'm here.
There. Melissa's on too.
Where the heck is? Oh yeah, good. I see you. Who's that? What, Chris?
Melissa's on too.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
What time is it?
2 minutes.
58.
Thank you.
Anthony, if you want to see everybody, click grid view. If you look on the top right where it says layout, if you click that, it'll give you an option for grid.
Hit grid.
Yeah, and then you'll see everybody.
Right. It's the same people that's been on, like just James, Tanya, Christine, Lemanoix, Toba, and Chuck. Thank you. The other
You
ones.
see all 12? You see all 12 like us?
The
Well,
other
no,
one.
you see who has their camera on, but you can see in the block who are also
right.
called in without their camera on.
Got the camera, right.
You can see Melissa's on or Cynthia, but you just don't see their picture. But you see that they're on.
Yeah, but when I hit the grid, I still want to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. That's what mine are.
That's all there is. That's all there
That's what
is.
it should be. That's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody.
But then how come like Steve and Melissa aren't on that grid?
They're on mine.
Yeah, Steve's on
I'm
mine.
sorry, Melissa and Steve's are on mine. Cynthia's not on mine. She was.
Cynthia's
Right.
fine.
No, she's there.
All right, I got
He's
it.
there.
Now Bill, okay, I got it.
Right.
You
So
said 13.
your
It had
squares are going to get smaller.
Right.
Your squares will get smaller as other people
Yeah.
dial on.
Something happened.
Council President, I have a question. Do you want to tell people how to, how they should be raising their hands? Because I'm not sure that everyone knows how to do that.
Right. When we get to for a public comment, go over how people should participate in that public comment, how they should,
Okay.
all right. At the end of your statement, you could just say those that wish to speak, wherever we're doing this.
Okay, so then I'll say it when we do the public comment.
Right. Was a raise your hand emoji or something? Is that what we're using?
Yeah, I think it's under the emoji, right, Al?
Yeah, if you hit reactions, if you click on reactions, the top button says raise hand.
Okay.
There it is.
7.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's 7 or 1.
All right, everybody ready?
Mhm.
Mr. Kuchar, you ready?
I am, sir.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Township Council Workshop, Monday, February 8th, 2021. This meeting is now called to order. Councilmember Seaver, please do the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. The notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey, on January 6, 2021. A copy of the notice was faxed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the township clerk on said date. This meeting is being conducted under the circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 health situation. No public will be allowed to attend the meeting in person. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting can be accessed on the township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Havlet,
Present.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Present.
Councilmember Sieber,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Mayor Damiano?
Thank you, Council President. This evening, we have a proclamation to read in support of Black History Month here in the Township of Little Falls. And it reads, whereas the Township of Little Falls takes pride in recognizing February 2021 as Black History Month, celebrating the many notable contributions that people of African descent have made to our country. And whereas in 1986, Congress passed Public Law 99-244, designating February as the 60th annual public and private salute to Black history observed as National Black History Month. And whereas we celebrate the diversity of Black people, whether they self-identify as African, African American, or Black, and whereas we revere the unbreakable bonds within the Black family despite challenges placed on those ties by persistent and abundant racial disparities in our society, including the criminal justice system, healthcare, education, economic opportunity, and many other areas affecting the Black community. Whereas each Black family has a unique, interesting story, which, although we may not be able to fully understand, we can listen and show that we care, treating each other with respect and empathy. And whereas recent tragic events have elevated the voice of the Black struggle, it will take more than a raised voice to bring about the lasting institutional and societal change that is desperately needed in our country. And whereas we encourage all people to recognize and confront these issues by standing in the gap at every opportunity and bridge barriers with fearlessness and determination to improve lack of representation of Black people. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Township of Little Falls does hereby proclaim February 1st through February 28th, 2021 as Black History Month, and calls upon the people of Little Falls to continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, equitable, and prosperous for all.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said. Can I have a motion to open to the public for all matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Kawadi. A second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of opening to the public for all public matters, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed to this motion signify by saying nay. This motion carries. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement.
Members of the public who desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the WebEx application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the
Guys, I
public.
totally lost the volume. I can't hear anything.
Can everybody else hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
I hear you.
Team, can you hear?
Councilmember Havlet, can you hear? Just not responding. All right, continue, Mrs. Kraus.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up where I left off. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the council president will recognize them in order. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we'll return to the regular order of business. And in case anybody is unaware, the hand raising function is under the reactions at the bottom of the screen. And if for some reason you can't find it, you can always type in the chat bar that you want to make a comment.
Thank you, Mrs. Kraus, for reading the statement and clarifying how the individuals, residents, and those attending this meeting could signify if they want to speak. Do we have any residents who want to speak at this time?
Yes, I do, Mr. This is Luis Fernandez, 54 Harrison Street.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Fernandez.
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
All right. I have a few questions that I would like to ask you. May I begin?
Go ahead, Mr. Fernandez. The floor is yours.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, any new developments with 75 Harrison Street? That's number one. My second question is, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Kucha, on December 23rd, a couple of days before Christmas, I called the police department because somebody was canvassing at my door. They rang the bell, and the canvassing permit said, signed by the Little Falls Township clerk, a lady named, it wasn't Cynthia Krause, it was somebody else. The Piero, I looked in the directory, in the Township directory, official directory, and Melissa DiPiero is listed as administrative assistant as of today. He also said the canvassing permit. He also said signature of the police chief, and he was signed by the chief of police, Scott Post. So how come it was signed by Melissa DiPiero when, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the official directory of the Township of Little Falls recognizes only one clerk, and that is Cynthia Kraus.
Mr. Fernandez.
Third question.
I'd be happy to address that, Council President.
All right, hold on. I have one more before I go.
Mr. Fernandez, I understand you have more. Do you have more comments to the December 23rd incident?
No, that's it. I have another question. And
Mr. Fernandez, we're going to address the two questions right now, and then we'll go back to you. Okay, Mayor, would you like to go over 75 Harrison and December 23rd, please?
Sure. With respect to 75 Harrison Street, the update is that the current operator of the building is still attempting to complete a closing on the building. He does not yet officially own the building. There are still some issues with the individual who he is purchasing the building from, and some litigation over a prior sale that fell through, as I understand it. So that process is still in the works. That individual who is operating out of 75 Harrison is still looking to make good on his word, as we had previously discussed. So unfortunately, there's no more update than that right now, other than to say that it is still in the works, and he is still attempting to close on the building. Next, with respect to...
There's no date as when this issue will be solved?
There's no date right now as to when the issue will be resolved, because he needs to first close and own the building before he can make any application before the planning board if he's looking to make modifications. Next, with respect to your question about the canvassing permit, I have to say that this is an absolutely disingenuous notion that you bring here tonight. The reason being is because you texted me on December 23rd at 5:07 p.m. with a photo of the permit, and I answered the question for you at that time. And I specifically indicated that that's Melissa DiPiero. She is also a clerk. And you responded by saying, I thought it was faked, and called the police. Sorry. And I said, no problem, better safe than sorry. We have a lot of canvassers that don't do the right thing. Better to call to make sure. So I acknowledged and responded to your request at that time. If your request right now is that the township website should be updated to include Melissa DiPiero as an additional clerk, we can absolutely make that adjustment. But you've asked and I've answered this question for you. I'm happy to do it publicly again for the show of it here. But if the request is just to update the website, you could have simply sent a text or an email and it would have already been done prior to this evening's meeting.
It's almost 2 months after the fact. Don't you think that it should have been updated by now? And instead of being an assistant, instead of being an administrative assistant, it should be clerk or whatever her position is, not something else, Mr. Damiano.
I appreciate you bringing this to my attention at this time. We will make sure that it gets updated. I'm not certain if you're aware, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot of things going on, and I don't regularly check the township website to make sure that the positions of the employees are updated. So now that you've brought it to our attention, I will make sure that gets addressed.
That's the only. I have the test that you sent me, and I'm not blaming you or anything like that. I'm just expressing my opinion, and I'm just bringing this up to you because it should have been corrected by now.
Mr. Fernandez, we'll make sure we'll update the website to clarify the status. Your next question, sir?
The other question is, I asked this question about a month ago. Unfortunately, at the last meeting, I couldn't attend because I had surgery that day, and I was out of it completely. It had something to do with the regarding the incident of a young resident, I guess, with the police department. Mr. Wetzel said that either himself or the police chief will get back to me with an answer. I didn't get any answer, to be honest with you.
Mr. Fernandez, unfortunately, you were unable to attend our last meeting. Our counselor, Mr. Wenzel, explained that circumstance at that meeting.
Okay.
If you would like, I'll have Mr. Wenzel contact you directly, and he'll give you that same response, what he told
That would be nice. Like I said, I'm sorry I couldn't attend because I had surgery that day and I was with the anesthesia and all, I was totally out of it. So I couldn't attend.
Well, I hope you're
but-
feeling better. I would address it now, but Mr. Wenzel has a conflict, and his partner, Mr. Friend, is on with us. However, I feel it's not right for Mr. Friend to comment on that. He will touch base with Mr. Wenzel. Mr. Friend, Councilor Friend, will you do that tomorrow? Touch base with Mr. Wenzel and have him reach out to Mr. Fernandez.
Excellent. That's
Okay.
all I asked.
Very good, sir. Anything else, Mr. Fernandez?
No, that should do it. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for joining our meeting this evening. Anyone else?
There is no one else with their hand raised, sir.
Thank you. Since there's no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilmember Kawadi. All those in favor of closing to the public signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Thank you. Just in case there is some background noise, maybe somebody could tune off their radio. At this time, Mayor Damiano, you have items 1 and 2, and anything else you'd like to discuss and bring forth to this governing body?
Thank you, Council President. First, I'll address the items on this evening's agenda, and then I will get to just some other quick updates that we have here in town. First is the Police Division Table of Organization Ordinance Amendment. And recently, I was advised by one of our officers that there intends to be a retirement on the horizon in the sergeant rank. And in an effort to ensure that we are able to continue to ensure that our table of organization and structure in the police department remain stable, because oftentimes as police officers approach the end of their career, they oftentimes have many days which allows them to continue to be on the books. However, they are not actually going to be appearing for an extended period of time. And in an effort to ensure that we have a good representation in our organization at the police department and that the structure is there. This is something that I am proposing to the council, that we add a 9th sergeant position. There are typically 8 sergeants here in Little Falls. We run 4 shifts. They each have 2 sergeants. And the thought process behind that in particular is that if one sergeant's out, there's always a second one there to cover, and we end up reducing liability to the township that way. The issue becomes if a shift is short and we have just the one sergeant on that shift call out, the issue becomes that we will be bringing in other sergeants on overtime, which could end up costing the taxpayers more money, and it's less stable than having 2 sergeants on every shift. And as this council is aware, just because there is a 9th position, a 9th opening, or a 9th potential sergeant that can be appointed, it doesn't mean that a table of organization necessarily needs to be filled all of the time. And I say that to this council to indicate that this is a position that I'm asking this council to create, not because I believe there needs to be additional brass 24/7, but because I believe that this is a position that will allow us to appropriately promote an individual to fill the rank of sergeant when they are going to next be taking on that role. And I believe it reduces liability to the town while saving taxpayer money to the town, while providing the maximum protection and structure within our police department. And that's why I'm asking this council to update the table of organization within our police department at the next council meetings by way of an ordinance.
I know the council has reviewed this very well, and I've spoken to each and one of you. Do you have any questions or comments for the mayor? This is concerning 1398. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. The next item is the fee ordinance amendment. This is something that there have been, well, this is really simply an update. We have made some major improvements to a lot of our parks in town, particularly Duva Field and our sports and recreation complex. We have new pickleball courts, and we do not have an appropriate fee ordinance in place addressing the fees associated with signing up or rentals of fields and usages of fields and usages of of pickleball and tennis courts and things of that sort. So this is simply just an updated ordinance to address the fees associated with the usage of all of these things, including the rental of the civic center, the rentals of our fields, and many of those things. So this is simply an update to that fee ordinance that I'm asking this council to address and adopt moving forward, so that we can get on track with that and generate revenue to the township if people from out of town wish to utilize our new beautiful facilities here.
Are there any questions, council, regarding the fee ordinance update? Mayor?
Sure, Councilman. A couple of other things, not particularly on the agenda, but just by way of update. One is it seems that there are a number of issues with the WebEx platform. It seems to be a whole lot more spotty than the Zoom platform. So what we're looking to do is for future meetings, move over to a Zoom platform. What I encourage everyone here to do is to keep your eye out on the email blasts that come leading up to the next council meeting. Information will be posted. If we are going to be moving over to the Zoom platform, all of the login information will be provided through those emails. It will be posted on our website along with our agenda as we do before each council meeting. So keep your eyes open for that. If we're unable to get that in place by the next meeting, we will be here still on WebEx. But again, keep your eyes open. The intentions are to move forward on the Zoom platform moving forward. Again, it just seems to run a little more seamless. Next thing I have very briefly is I want to thank the council members for approving. And now finally, we have the installation of the new sign at our sports and recreation complex. We have a new digital sign that can be updated, especially whether it be inclement weather, whether it be school closures, whether it be a variety of different things. And it is certainly part of the facelift of our sports and recreation complex. It looks tremendous down there. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to drive by, whether it be during the day or especially at night. It looks very nice lit up as you drive by now. And I want to thank Councilman Kawadi for his assistance in getting some of the graphics designed and some of the information together that we can now display on that board. So thank you to all of the council for moving that project forward. I have, by way of one more quick rec update, it's been discussed at prior council meetings, but the Pixelot camera system that is installed at our recreation center for our kids in their indoor sports, because fans are not allowed still, it is an incredible system there. It's amazing to be able to watch these games. You could watch these games in high definition. You can, if you have the ability at your house to display, whether it be your phone or your iPad, right onto your smart TV, if you have a smart TV, and you can almost feel like you are at a professional sporting event with this Pixelot camera that is always running when there's a game or an activity happening there. It allows you to really watch this game. It is an unmanned camera. It's a smart camera that follows the action and follows the game. And it's pretty incredible. And I just encourage our residents who have young ones playing to utilize that so that they can continue to watch them and share it with the grandparents or the aunts and uncles of all of our kids who are playing sports down there. Next is, as many of you know and are now tired of, we have had a lot of snow. I would say in Little Falls, but it's more than just Little Falls for the past past week or two now. Although we've had our fair share, it looks like there's more coming over the next couple of days. And I want to thank our DPW for the tremendous job that they have done getting these roads cleared. They have, I don't think they've slept more than 5 or 6 hours any night for the past week and a half. Because even when there was no snow, the one night that they would have been able to sleep in, many of our DPW members are also on our fire department, and there was a fire in town that they all responded to at about 5 a.m. on Cedar Grove Road earlier this week, or I should say in the middle of last week. And these guys have been working and burning the candle on both ends, and I want to thank all of them for keeping our roads clear, for keeping our residents safe when it comes to fires. Our fire department also needs a huge thank you for responding so quickly, and as well as our Little Falls Police Department and the Cedar Grove Police Department, who assisted in responding because it was very close to the border there of Cedar Grove. And I want to thank everybody for their coordinated joint efforts and all of that, whether it be keeping our roads clear or fighting these fires. And as a quick PSA, I've encouraged everybody on Facebook, but everybody, please clear fire hydrants around your home. It's valuable time that our firemen will spend trying to get to the fire hydrant when they could be fighting the fire. So please keep them clear at the end of a snowstorm. Next is because of the snow, there have been a lot of emails and phone calls that I have gotten the days after, especially that larger snowstorm that we had last week. And it's from a lot of our older residents who have been concerned about having the snow removed, whether it be they're on fixed budgets and can't hire someone, or whether it be they have, issues with mobility and being able to remove the snow themselves. So this has prompted the potential for a new program in town. Unfortunately, it seems that we just don't have a bunch of kids walking door to door anymore, cleaning snow for individuals in the neighborhood. And I thought that this could be potential to implement a new program here in town that I was thinking we could call Snow Angels, and we could have a bunch of kids sign up to help, whether it be through some of the Scouts programs or whether it be just by area, and sign up, and we can have individuals who might need assistance shoveling out during or after a snowstorm sign up, whether it be online or by calling a number that we can set up. And I'm going to be coordinating a meeting actually tomorrow evening with several individuals to see if we can get a Snow Angels program off the ground and implement it here in town, because we do need to look out for our neighbors, help our neighbors. And I thought this would be a good first step in doing that after snowstorms. So hopefully there's more to come on our Snow Angels program. And eventually, hopefully, we'll have people enrolling to both be shoveled out as well as to shovel others out. So that is in the works. Next, on to a couple of other very serious issues. As far as the COVID update and vaccinations, I've been getting a number of emails and phone calls about individuals who are very frustrated with the process of signing up for vaccinations. And I couldn't agree with everyone more. It has been a very, very difficult process for many. And it seems it's a race to see if there's openings on social media and quickly try to fill those spots. So the issue that we've had here, and this was voiced on a recent call with the governor's office, it turns out that Essex County, while they have 850,000 residents and Passaic County has about 500,000 residents, that Essex County has gotten about 4 times the number of vaccines that Passaic County has gotten. And this has raised many concerns for everyone from the county of Passaic to all of the local officials in each of the municipalities through the entire county. And there was certainly some foot stomping during this call that we were just looking for a fair share here in Passaic County compared to the surrounding counties. And we're hoping that this can be addressed. We're hoping that this will, eventually become something like the COVID test was at one point early on, where it was difficult to get a COVID test if you wanted one, to now being readily available everywhere you turn. I'm hopeful that in short order, anyone who wants to get a COVID vaccine will be able to do so. We are working towards that. We are asking for our fair share of vaccines here in Passaic County that we do hope to have coming this way soon. We have all, like I said, expressed our concerns with this. So the only thing I can ask, and I know this is not really fair to ask of anyone, is to just continue to try to sign up and find yourself a vaccine appointment and be patient doing so. Again, I know that's not really a fair ask, but unfortunately, we are doing everything we can to get vaccines to this area, to get our residents and surrounding neighborhoods signed up. They're just not being produced fast enough, but they are being utilized as soon as they are received. So again, I'm just asking for everyone's patience and their cooperation and just continuing to attempt to sign up while providing their patience. Finally, Mr. Cuccia and I have been discussing and working on this year's annual budget, which will be presented in some of the upcoming months. And this is another thing that is a difficult thing to discuss on the tail end of what was a horrible year for many in 2020 as a result of COVID-19. It's a difficult budget this year that the township is facing because of the complete shortfall of revenues that we've always anticipated receiving. We had many departments, and I know I've talked about this on several meetings last year, we've had many departments come up very short compared to where they typically do with the revenues that they generate. And we are doing our best to ensure that this year's budget will have as small of an impact to residents in town. But again, this is something that is somewhat of a battle because of the lack of revenues that we've received over the past 12 months here in town. So I'm asking everyone's patience as we prepare that and hopefully have that presented at one of the upcoming meetings. And that's all that I have this evening, Council President, unless there's anything I can answer that you may have.
Council members have any questions or comments for the mayor under his report? Very good. Thank you, Mayor, for that very well report. We appreciate that very much. I know those are questions that the residents of Little Falls have on their minds. We're going to move forward to action items. Mrs. Kraus, can you read the resolution A, please?
Sure. Resolution approving the transfer of plenary retail consumption license from First Russian National Home of Signac LLC to Woodhull Crossing, Inc.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve resolutions A and B?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery, second. Was that you, Councilmember Quaddi?
It was.
Thank you. Second by Councilmember Quaddi. All those in favor of approving resolution A and B, which is the bill list, is that a roll call? I'm sorry. Is that a roll call? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll for A and B.
Councilmember Havlet?
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi?
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes, I see on the call is Mr. Manella, which I think is involved in this transfer of this license. I know this may be a little bit out of order, but Mr. Manella, if you'd like to comment on what you're going to be about doing at this Russian Hall, we all wish you the best on behalf of the council and the mayor and staff here. You're muted. You're muted, Mr. Manella.
I'm unmuted now. Okay. Listen, I thank the council for their decisions today. We are looking to bring back what's known by most of us on the council here, or most of you on the council, as a fixture to Little Falls. And we're looking forward to returning it to its former glory. I also want to thank Ms. Kraus for all of her hard work on this matter, and she's done a fantastic job and went above and beyond. I can't say anymore. One of the partners is on the call too, Keith Zurcher. I don't know if he wants to add anything, but thank you.
Mr. Manella, I know you and I go back a long way, back to the high school days of playing in the band together. We wish you all the best, that continued success of the First Reform. I know some of the council members here have some really wonderful members at that establishment. So we're looking to continue. I'm sure when you open up, the mayor will be the first there having a beer at your bar the moment you open up. So congratulations to you and good luck.
It's still a lot of work in progress. So we're working on it.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Mrs. Kraus, please read ordinance 1392.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1392, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on-street regulations, stop intersections of the Code of the Township of Little Falls.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to open to public hearing on 1392?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Kawadi. Is there anyone that would like to be heard on this motion 1392? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing on 1392?
Move.
Moved by Councilmember Sieber, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Quaddi. All those in favor of closing the hearing on 1392 signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Have a motion to adopt ordinance 1392.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery, second.
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 Second by Councilmember Kawadi. All, Mrs. Kraus, call the roll to adopt 1392.
Councilmember Havlet?
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi?
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Mrs. Kraus, please read ordinance 1398.
Introduction of ordinance number 1398, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the Code of the Township of Little Falls, Administration of Government, Section 3-7.7, Police Division F, Table of Organization of Division, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 8, 2021.
Have a motion to introduce ordinance 1398.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery. A second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Kawadi. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Mrs. Kraus, please read ordinance 1399.
Introduction of ordinance number 1399, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code, Chapter 71 fees with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 8th, 2021.
A motion to introduce ordinance 1399,
So moved.
moved by Councilmember Vanchery. Second, please.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hablitz. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll for 1399, please.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Councilmember Kawadi?
Thank you, Council President. So just want to start with the mayor's resolution. I am proud that we are recognizing Black History Month in the Township of Little Falls. Black history is American history, and it is important to recognize that history, probably to a greater extent than the history that most of us learned growing up. So I'm glad we're doing that. I want to congratulate Mr. Vanella. He was here a second ago, but he's moving around. Glad to see that you are sticking around and opening a business in Little Falls and keeping a Little Falls tradition going. So congratulations to you and your partner on that. I just want to echo what the mayor said about the DPW. It's already been an incredible winter, and there's more to come. And Little Falls residents can sleep well at night knowing that they are in good hands when these snowstorms happen, and they wake up in the morning often to find the roads clear, and they're able to get to work and conduct the business of their families. Even though, many of us are working from home right now, we need to be mobile, right? We are a mobile society here in Little Falls. And the fact that our DPW keeps that going, and some of them fight fires in the meantime, and they do everything else that the town requires, it just says a lot. And obviously we have new leadership, and it's nice to see that the great job that the Little Falls DPW has been known for is continuing this year. Our new superintendent is sort of getting baptism by fire with these snowstorms, and he's doing a commendable job, taking care of the township. So glad to see that happening. Lastly, and related to the snow, as the chairman of the Domestic Violence Prevention Committee, just want to mention that as people are stuck indoors now because of the snowstorms and because of COVID, that the issue of domestic violence is one that should not be ignored. And if you know anybody who you think may need help, please reach out to that person and offer them your assistance, because as people are spending even more times indoors now with the snow and COVID, situations can be more tense. And so those people need your help more than ever. That's it for me. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Kawadi. Mrs. Kraus, did we go through the proper procedures regarding ordinance 1399?
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Hablitz.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd also like to echo a huge thank you to our DPW. They have done an absolute amazing job as an essential worker who really has to get out and still travel all the way to Hackensack. Our roads are impeccable, believe me. All of my traveling down Route 80 and through Hackensack, our roads are just top notch. So I really have to thank the DPW for making my life easy going to work. As far as my report, I just want to again remind everyone that the library is closed at this time. However, they are open for curbside, and they do have a lot of virtual meetings and virtual activities going on. So please see the Facebook page or the library website in order to take advantage of some of those. And I just wanted to talk about the farmers market for just a second. Councilwoman Sieber and I and the Recreation Department have been working hard to get our new season up and running. We will be starting in May and we will be going through November this year. And we already have a lot of our vendors returning and potential vendors reaching out. So it should be a great year. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Hablitz, so if I wanted to get back into reading, tell me do you know how this curbside works for the library? How it works?
Yes, I do believe they can either call the library or they can go on the library's website to see how they can go on and reserve books. I'm pretty sure. I have to be honest, I would have to check more into it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. Mayor, first of all, thank you for the proclamation tonight for Black History Month. I think it's great that we're being very diverse in what our community changing as well and acknowledging the different milestones throughout the year. So appreciate that. I also want to express my big thank you to the Little Falls DPW department. The work that they have been doing this past week with the amount of snow that we've received in Little Falls is tremendous, especially if you drive around many other towns in our surrounding area and you see the difference what curb to curb plowing is all about. So kudos to the DPW department, and like the mayor has said, as well as Councilman Quaddy, they work 24/7, and they'll continue to do it. There's some more snow expected this week, and as you drive around and you talk to some of them, they love what they're doing. They want to help, so grateful for that. Just some things on my end that I'll go through too, and I also want to congratulate my former neighbor, former Lieutenant Manella, and his partner Keith on what they're doing next steps for the Russian Hall. Best of luck to Jimmy and Keith. From a transportation committee standpoint, we are looking to meet later this month to discuss some topics that we're hoping to address this year. Towards the end of last month, I also had a chance to sit down with Chief Post. As I've mentioned before, my goal has been to explore a number of streets in town this year where there are no stop signs, and working with the chief and his department to see which ones we can address. Based on the meeting him and I had, we came up with a list of 10 streets that we are looking to add a stop sign. And now I am just working behind the scenes with the chief as well as Mayor Damiano so that we can let the residents in that particular area where these 10 signs are going to be the proper notification about our plans, address any questions or concerns that they do have. So look for that in the coming month from me as well. Last week, also, Mayor Damiano and I had the pleasure of joining a Zoom call with the 5th grade Girl Scouts in town to discuss how the town is being very more environmentally friendly when it comes to our capabilities. So the mayor and I sat on the line with 16 of the Girl Scouts and their troop leader, Alexis Kiefer, and we talked about the projects that are being done in town, whether it was the police department, the fire department, the DPW, the rec center, and each of the kids had a chance to also ask us some questions. It was a good time. We had to break the ice for a little bit. Most were quiet, but then once the mayor and I started talking about things, we got some questions. But it was nice to see our Girl Scouts in the community kind of sitting down with us to ask the questions. I think we'll definitely do it more. And I know some of the other troops are reaching out to some of my colleagues in the council for future discussions with some different scouts in town. So look forward to that. Just lastly, I know the mayor kind of touched on some of the things that we're working on when it comes to fees. And I've been working behind the scenes with the mayor, Council President Scoba, and the council, as well as John Pace and Tyler Passero, to help finalize some of these rates based on, some research that we've had from different towns and just talking to some other residents too, what they've experienced playing different activities. So we're hoping to have that finalized this week as well. That's it for me.
Very good report. I'm glad to hear the work on the fees. Mayor, do you want to comment on our young girls?
Sure, Council President. Yeah, we had a very fun and informative meeting with our Girl Scouts about how the steps the town has taken to become more green, including a portion of the energy that the township purchases every year. It comes from clean and renewable energy sources. So we've made that commitment as well. That was a big step that I believe Mr. Cuccia was instrumental in making for this township. So it is just one more of the many commitments that the town has made to becoming more green. And I've reported on some of the other steps over the years, especially through some of my state of the township, such as our police department putting larger batteries in cars so cars don't have to idle, and a variety of different things. So it was a fun meeting. Of course, they're trying to sucker me into purchasing a whole bunch of Girl Scout cookies, which always becomes part of any Girl Scout meeting that I've ever had in my life. You know, I'm a sucker for them. So I've continued and been consistent in that suckership. So I've constantly purchased more cookies.
Thank you, Mayor. Council Member Sieber, any going to do hot springs in this town or with your open space money or something?
I don't know what a hot spring as in a natural spring is.
Like in Denver or something, or you could jump into hot water or something like that?
That would be lovely, but I don't think that's possible at this point. You never know, so I never say never. But we did have our first meeting of the year, and we will be holding a monthly cadence to our meeting so that we can kind of move our agenda items forward. We also identified kind of a short list so that we don't kind of bite off more than we can chew, and we can really see some action happening within the town. Hopefully, you know, even though we'll be meeting monthly, we're hoping to actually set up a little field trip around town, hopefully in April when the snow melts, which I'm hoping it will be by April. So I'm really excited, and it's great to be part of such a motivated group. So I'm happy to report moving forward on the Open Space Committee. On the other side, I know the mayor and Councilman Vanchery just mentioned about the Girl Scouts and Daisies. Councilwoman Christine Hablitz and myself were actually a part of a Zoom already with the Daisies and a few Girl Scouts, and we talked about being a woman in leadership and being a woman in government. So just how we did it and what you have to do. And it was really great to talk to these young girls, and we got some pretty good questions. So it was a great adventure. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. The council knows this is, I think, what my fourth year as council president. When you use the word list, do you want to share with this governing body what could be on that list, your short list?
Yep, sure. Some of our areas that we talked about is definitely the Lewis Field area. So that would be one of them. And then also the areas, we have this big, beautiful new recreation area at the recreation center. And we have the turf field, we have pickleball and tennis courts, but we do have an area that was an old batting cage that has not been refurbished or reutilized in a different way. And then I think there could be some updates to that playground at the rec center. So that's definitely another area that we're looking at. And then also, you know, we do have the improvements happening at Wilmore Park. That's been in plan for a few years now. So continuing to work at that and seeing what else we can do to improve that area. So that's our short list. And then, of course, we can't forget our Morris Canal area. One thing that we definitely want to look at possibly doing is adding some exercise equipment, whether it's along Morris Canal or at the rec center, wherever the case may be. That's an area, something that I think our focus is obviously ADA compliance, as well as a wide range of age usage. So not only just focusing to a younger area, but really just a wide range of ability and age.
Thank you. So as it was reported at the last meeting, Ron Stell is the Clean Streets Coordinator. And I had a discussion with him to move this program forward. As last year in 2020, the town was clean. You'll see it cleaner going forward. We had a good phone conversations, and we're going to be setting up a plan going forward for 2021 with the DPW crew to work on weekends and certain other days and picking up the unfortunate litter that does occur in our town. As senior advisory, unfortunately, the seniors do not do Zoom or Vroom or Broom or WebEx or any of those sources. They wanted in-person meetings. So we've been snowed out, unfortunately. So those meetings have been a challenge, but we did go back to the old telephone. And, you know, Mayor, they're really interested in maybe you looking into getting the senior bus and helping them out at night somehow, maybe on a Thursday night, and bringing them out to their maybe restaurants or some other activity. So keep that in mind. They're really missing, unfortunately, socialization. So we hope to figure out ways with COVID to make that happen in some sort. The mayor's office has gotten quite a few phone calls concerning memorializations of individuals that those have passed that the residents want to memorialize in our town. As the residents know, we have that's called Tank Park, Wilmore Road Park, Memorial Park, has quite a few memorials. So the council, along with the mayor, is looking into a program, along with staff, and Mr. Kusha, along the Passaic River, an area where the shade tree, through our liaison, Councilmember Hablitz, will pick out a blossoming type of tree. The tree would be planted by the DPW. A memorial bronze plaque would be placed there with some verbiage that myself and Councilmember Kawadi will work on with the shade tree. And the fee has been ranging from $500 to $750, and we're going to be presenting that to the mayor. The final selection of where actually the memorial plaque will go will probably be in the mayor's office, through the mayor's office. But we're hopefully we'll have that resolved for the spring. And it serves as two purposes. One, for those residents that want to memorialize individuals. And two, it helps with living the trees. Will be a very good beautification of that part of our town down by the Passaic River. So before we close, I want to thank Chief Post, Mr. Lemanowicz, and Mr. Friend, Councilor Friend, for joining our meeting this evening. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Cherry. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hablitz. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. This meeting is now closed. Thank you.